Okay, Sniper Side here. We're going to go in a little bit different direction than conventional thinking. We're going to be a little outside the box. Have our Accuracy International AX. This is the short action 308 with a quick lock. Right now it's sporting a 6.5 Creedmoor barrel. We're going to swap it out, and what we have here is a Bartlein 260 barrel. This was spun up by Mile High Shooting, and what's different about this, it's a left-hand gain twist. So what does that mean? Instead of the twist going to the right, we're turning it to the left, and the gain twist means it's going to start at an 8 1/4 and it's going to end at the muzzle at a 7 3/4. Nice. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the gain twist and what we're looking at with the AIAX platform. The barrel, Bartlein barrel, is finished to 23.5 inches, so it's not very long. I did that on purpose, and we're also testing factory ammo at this point. I do have some hand loads. We have a 139 load with 43.3 grains of H4350. This is with a 139. We also have a Copper Creek load, which is pretty close to a hand load, and this is a 136 Cinar. That was loaded for this rifle for a competition with the barrel that came directly from Accuracy International. A little misunderstanding with gain twist. So what we're doing is we're starting at 8 1/4 and we're finishing at 7 3/4. You don't get more velocity out of a gain twist. What you can do is load for a higher velocity. The thinking behind this is .28-15. You fire the rifle, firing pin strikes the primer. As soon as that bullet's leaving the casing, and we know it takes a lot of pressure to unseat that bullet, it's going hard and fast at the lands and grooves. Now it's going in a straight line, and it has to pick up the lands to start to turn it. Conventional thinking is if you have a consistent uniform twist and you're overspinning the bullet, you're going to get skidding. It's going to skid before it picks up and gets enough bite on that bullet jacket to start turning it. By having a slower twist to start, you can load it a little higher and you're going to get a little more velocity out of it because you're not skidding, you're giving it a gradual turn instead of a harder turn. That's where the more velocity comes from. Then it allows you to spin the bullet a little bit quicker at exit, which should give you a little bit better longer range performance. Now the bench rest and service rifle guys are going to gain twist. Bartlein's doing a lot of work with them. In this case, we're also, because of the rifle we're using, going left. Our twist is not a conventional right-hand twist, it's a left-hand twist. What that means is, at longer distance, when we start adding things like spin drift and Coriolis to the effect, they're canceling each other to some degree instead of compounding the error. Think about this. Right-handed shooter have a tendency to pull to the right. We've tested it, we've seen it. Right hand twist, right hand spin in the northern hemisphere of the world, everything's going to the right. We're adding all this to each other so our drifts become really big. Now understand, these drifts are also dependent on the direction of the wind. There's a line of thinking that depending on which way the wind's coming would say which way you would twist the rifle. But we don't have that luxury right now. We're not going to be swapping barrels that often. So by going to the left, we're taking away some of the errors and reducing them. It might be 3 inches, it might be 6 inches, it might be 9 inches, depending on the distance. But we're not compounding these errors together. Other thing, back at the turn of the century, one of the best barrel makers on the planet was a man named Pope. Pope was adamant about a left-hand twist for a right-hand shooter. So let's think about that in rifle cant. People are always saying the rifle cants, the rifle hops, the rifle does all these different things. Well, if we have it in our shoulder pocket and we fire with a right-hand twist, the rifle wants to lean over to the right. Other than our shoulder muscle here, there's nothing to hold that rifle. Cheek pressure, pushing it to the right. Twist, pushing it to the right. So now we take a left-hand twist, which is going to recoil in towards the center line of our body. We're now pinning the rifle between that shoulder pocket and our cheek. It's going to come against our cheek and not away from our cheek. So our face is now holding the rifle in place. Firing this rifle, I found I have less movement off the target because it's staying in place thanks to my head position. So there's benefits to the shooter. There's benefits to not deforming the bullet by that skidding motion. There's benefits at longer distance by reducing the amount of drift. We're putting all this back in our favor. Why did they go to the right? I mean, that's the question you have to ask when they made barrels. Because the machines and gears turned to the right. Screws went to the right. So they just kind of did what they knew. They got away from the conventional thinking that a left-hand twist for a right-hand shooter. We're trying to bring that back. This is not new. It's just using modern technology to perfect it, to understand what the twist rate should be versus just randomly putting a twist rate out there. So that's why we're doing this. This is an experiment to show that what they did back then was actually the correct way to do it, and we had got away from it. So let's try to bring it back and put everything in our favor. The nice thing about the Accuracy International here, especially with the quick lock, is I'm just going to pull out my Allen, loosen it up, and my barrel is going to come right off. So I can swap barrels right here on the line and compare results.